Good morning, all of you. So today I'm going to start your chapter number 12, that is Theory of Income and Employment. This chapter I'm going to do, okay. So to understand this chapter, first you need to understand this, that we have just now completed one macroeconomic topic, that is national income. National income we have completed. In that we have completed circular flow of income and we have completed national income aggregates. These topics we have done under national income, okay. Now after national income I always teach chapter 12, that is Theory of Income and Employment, okay, because this is the second chapter of your macroeconomic. Because national income also we have studied, it is the money value of all final goods and services produced by all the normal residents of the country operating either inside or outside the domestic territory in a year is called national income. So national income adds the income of all the residents of the country. So we know that macroeconomic is an aggregate concept. Similarly, theory of income and employment. So it is the income and employment of the whole economy. It is not the income and employment, income of an individual or income of an employment. No, income of all the individuals and employment of all the individuals in an economy. So first thing you need to understand that theory of income and employment is a very much and very important part of macroeconomic theory. Now, theory of income and employment is a very popular theory developed by the father of modern economics, that is J.M. Keynes. So Keynes has developed this theory. Keynes has formulated the theory of income and employment. Keynes has said how to determine the income and employment of an economy. Determination of income and employment of an economy for the first time and in a very efficient and in a very elaborate way is developed by J.M. Keynes. So J.M. Keynes is the father of theory of income and employment. He is the person who has developed the theory of income and employment, okay. Now when he gave this theory, at that time he considered closed economy. He considered what economy? Closed. When we say that economy is closed, then in circular flow of income we have studied two-sector model of circular flow of income, three-sector model of circular flow of income, four-sector model of circular flow of income. If we follow three-sector model, then we take only three sectors. What are the three sectors? We take household, firm and government within the economy. So when we say three-sector model, then you can say that this is an example of the closed economy. Sometime in place of asking a question directly that explain the three-sector model of circular flow of income, they may ask you the question, explain the model of circular flow of income of closed economy. Then what you are going to explain here? Three-sector model. Okay? And when we say open economy, then we have a trade relation with other countries of the world. Okay? We have a trade relation with other countries of the world. Then we have a fourth sector, that is rest of the world. So fourth sector model of circular flow of income is an example of an open economy. Now, why we need that? Because we need several facts and basics and fundamentals of national income in this chapter. That is called theory of income and employment. Theory of income and employment you will not able to understand until and unless you will not understand the national income. That's why I first completed the national income. So what I was telling about the theory of income and employment, that this theory is developed by J.M. Keynes. And J.M. Keynes has developed this theory by considering only two sectors in an economy. How many sectors he considered? First thing, he took an example of closed economy. Because he took an example of an economy, he has not taken the example of rest of the world. So his theory is actually the theory of a closed economy. When we talk about inside the domestic territory, then only the theory of income and employment will be applicable. First thing. Now, if you take Keynes, then according to Keynes, there are two sectors in an economy. He assumes that there are two sectors in an economy, that is the household and the firm. He took the two sectors. Household does what? Consumption and saving. What the household does? Consumption and saving. Household earns income and uses his income. Some part of his income household use for consumption expenditure. Some part of the income household use for saving. So he took two sectors, household and firm. So household, there are two things in household: earning income, dividing into two parts, consumption expenditure and saving. Similarly, the other sector, that is firm, does one thing. What the firm does? Firm does investment. So who does investment? Firm. Who does consumption? Household. Who does saving? Household. How this saving is converted into what? Investment. We know that, we have studied that how saving is changes into investment in a circular flow of income. Household saves, and that saving amount bank collect and give that money to the firm for doing what? Investment. And this is how saving leads to investment. And saving is an leakage, investment is an injection to the circular flow of income that I have explained to you people. Is it clear to all of you? So I'm talking about J.M. Keynes, who developed the theory of income and employment and who considered that there are only two sectors, that is the household and firm. But before going into the theory of income and employment given by J.M. Keynes, the first basic of the chapter that we need to understand is aggregate demand. We have studied demand chapter in microeconomics. So that demand we have studied by individual, by an individual or by all the individuals in the market. That we have studied. But here when we say aggregate demand, when we say aggregate is a macroeconomic concept. So demand is created by household. We have done in the circular flow of income. Demand is also created by the firm. Household create demand for goods, consumer goods. Firm create demand for factors of production. Firm create demand for land, for labors, for raw materials. So firm also create demand. Household also create demand. And in the circular flow of income, we have also studied that government also create demand. Government purchases from the firm. Government purchases from the household the factor services. So, firm is also demanding, household is also demanding, government is also demanding. So, when we say aggregate demand means the demand which is created in an economy, because I told you that we are studying about the macroeconomic concept. And in class 11th also, the last topic of chapter number 2, aggregate demand and aggregate supply, I have explained you people. So what is aggregate demand? Aggregate demand is the demand created by all the individuals in an economy. And who are these individuals? The individuals may be consumer, creating demand for consumer goods. The individual may be firm, creating demand for factors of production. The individual may be government, creating demand for factors of production as well as consumer goods. Is it clear? So what is aggregate demand? Aggregate demand is nothing but demand of a consumer plus demand of a firm plus demand of a government. Okay, but demand is not only created by consumer, firm or government. Demand is also created by rest of the world. When they demand, then country export. Okay, then rest of the world also create demand. How rest of the world create demand? First, economy purchases from other country. We call it import. Other country purchases from the country. We call export. How much the country has earned, we get how? When we subtract the value, money value of export minus money value of import, we get net export. We get what? Net export. So what I told you, that all the 4 sectors in an economy create demand. Now think, considering the broader aspect, think about macroeconomics. So when I say aggregate demand means the demand created by all the sectors in an economy. So what will be the formula of demand? Household create demand, that is called consumption expenditure, symbol is C. Firm create demand, that is called investment expenditure. Yeah, firm purchases factors of production for what purpose? For investment. So firm create demand, and what is the name of the demand created by firm? Investment expenditure. Government create demand, and what is the name of the demand created by government? Called government expenditure. Rest of the world create demand, that is export minus import, called net export. So what is the demand? Name of the demand of household? Consumption expenditure. What is the name of the demand of the firm? Investment expenditure. What is the name of the demand of the government? Government expenditure. What is the name of the demand of the rest of the world? That is called net export. And what is the formula of net export? Export minus import. Okay, so aggregate, that is called aggregate demand. Demand, aggregate of the demand created by different sectors of an economy is called what? Demand, aggregate demand. Okay, fine. Now I think this much you people have understood till now. So let me first give you a framework of the chapter, that is theory of income. And tomorrow I will start completely with proper explanation in the blackboard and all, everything. You people have to make the notes. Now, as you people have deposited your copy in the school, you make another copy and start with the chapter number 12, because as your copy is in the school, so it will be for 1 week, it will be in the school. So by the time where you will write, so it's better purchase one copy and start writing the notes of theory of income and employment in that particular copy. I'm not giving notes today. I'm just giving you an idea of what we are going to study in this chapter. So I told you that aggregate demand. Fine. We have studied in chapter 2 when we have studied types of demand. Chapter 2 we have started by the features of demand. Then I have explained you the definition of demand. Then we have done the types of demand, and one of the types of demand which we have studied is called ex ante and ex post demand, if you remember. Ex ante and ex post demand. Now what is your work for today? You have to study that ex ante and ex post demand, because we need that in this particular chapter, that is called theory of income and employment. Is it clear? So today I have explained you this. I gave you the idea that in this chapter we start the chapter with the concept of aggregate demand, and I gave you in brief that who create demand, because we are talking about aggregate demand means demand of an economy. And who are the part of an economy? Household, firm, government, rest of the world. So whatever demand created by a household, that is consumption expenditure, plus the demand created by the firm, that is investment expenditure, plus the demand created by the government, that is government expenditure, plus, and the demand created by the rest of the world, that is net export, is equal to aggregate demand. All the 4 sectors create demand. We have studied in the circular flow of income. Then I told you that this particular chapter deals with the theory of income and employment, which is developed by Keynes. Whatever we are going to study in this chapter is actually given and developed and evaluated by Keynes. And how the Keynes has started. Keynes has